Welcome to Dial the Gate, everyone. My name is David Reed. Thanks for tuning in to, I believe, are we at episode 59? We're episode 59 now. One away from 60. Simone Bailey, one of my dear peeps from Stargate, is going to be joining us in just a moment here. Hope you're having a great weekend. Before we bring Simone in and really get the show going, if you like Stargate and you want to see more content like this on YouTube, it'll make it a great deal to me if you click the like button. It really makes a difference with YouTube's algorithm and will definitely help the show grow its audience. Please also consider sharing the video with a Stargate friend. And if you want to get notified about future episodes, click the subscribe icon. Giving the bell icon a click will notify you the moment a new video drops, and you'll get my notifications of any last minute guest changes. This is key if you plan on watching live, and clips from this live stream will be released over the course of the next several days on gateworld.net. So with this episode, as is with most episodes, I am going to be asking Simone some questions. Then over on youtube.com/dialthegate, the moderators during that time will be fielding questions from you, the audience. If you want to ask Simone a question, that's where you're going to want to do it. And then after the show, I have some artwork featuring Simone that I will be revealing that I found over at DeviantArt. Without further ado, Simone Bailey, Ka'lel, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Welcome
Thank
back,
you so
I
much.
should say.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk to you.
It was a pleasure to have you on for our game last time. I know you've been really busy, and it's like, oh, we're going to get her this month? We're going to get, okay, next year? No, okay, this month. Now, this month I've got you. How are things going?
Really great. I am.
Good.
Today is a beautiful sunny day, and I've taken upon myself, I've become a bit of a home gardener.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm really into propagating vegetables. And so the array of vegetables that I have, yeah. And I think it was because I wasn't sure if we were going to be experiencing the apocalypse. And that's kind of how it started. Yeah. But it's also really fun. And I get so much life myself just from watching all of my plants grow.
It really does something to you, you know, giving these little things life and then getting to eat them. Yeah. What are you growing?
I am growing an avocado tree, romaine lettuce, mint, green onions, sweet potatoes, celery. I mean, just so many carrots.
This isn't a patio garden. You've got a full-fledged garden going.
Yes.
Wow. Good for
you. It's really fun. And every morning I go out and like check on how everyone's doing and change their water. Well,
give them encouragement.
They're my babies.
Do you talk to your plants?
I do. And I've got flowers as well. And yeah. So those are my babies because I don't have children. So
is there any legitimacy to the claims that talking your plants helps the plants? Is there any of that?
I think so.
I mean, it's certainly good for us. It's certainly good for, our mental health, to be able to verbalize things. Some people would disagree, but I certainly think it is. Talk to our pets and everything else.
And there is some science behind that with things that are water based or have water in them. So anyway, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I think so. I think with a little bit of love, everything grows better. Us included.
No, that's certainly true. Yeah. Absolutely. So that's fantastic. So
yeah.
All right. Well, okay. My audience, I've been lucky to have Sue-Ann Braun on. Yeah. She has a YouTube show. You do as well.
Yes, I do. I have the Simone Bailey Show on my YouTube channel. And yesterday I just finished episode 12. And then I've also been releasing some videos of my paintings and meditation, because I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I am a certified yoga instructor. So I have taught meditation and yoga and things like that. So I'm hoping to drop some more videos as time goes on. I have a lot of videos that I'm still editing and finalizing before they're released, but yeah.
So is youtube.com/
Simone Bailey.
Simone Bailey. Simone Bailly, like it is on the screen right there.
Yes.
So go check her out. We'll be linking at the end of the show.
Yeah, my spelling of Bailey is not the Irish cream alcohol version. It is a French spelling. So I think back in the day it would be pronounced Bailly, but I just pronounce it Bailey. But yeah, so you can find me there.
What has it been like? Because I can certainly relate to this. Becoming a host of your own program and beginning to build out a community, because both of our shows are still really young. We've got to catch up with Sue Ann Braun, so she's been going for a lot longer. What is it? It's such a satisfying experience to share other people with a fan base. Share the people who have influenced you, the people who have, motivated you, or that you just like as people, sharing them with others.
Right. And for me, it started as a dare, actually. What had happened was, I had always wanted to do my own show and be a content creator online. But I think for me, I just didn't know how to technically do it. So what had happened was I was invited to do a Stargate interview on another channel. And the host of that channel, he and I became friends. And he would contact me and he said, Simone, you should really do your own show. I think fans would love it. It would be great. And he goes, what's to stop you to maybe do it on Wednesday? And I was like, what? I'm like, that's like 2 days away. And he goes, just do it. And so he phoned me and would teach me all the tech. And like, wow, what an amazing gift. Like, he's like my YouTube angel. And I learned how to do all this stuff. And what is so cool is producing my own show and curating the talent. And already I've interviewed tons of actors from Stargate and Dark Matter and Battlestar Galactica and all these other amazing shows. And as a Canadian who now lives in the US, one of my kind of sleeper things I'm doing is I'm also showcasing a lot of Vancouver talent that has crossed over onto these bigger American projects. But I really want to celebrate that talent and just promote them, because I'm so proud of everyone, and we have such an amazing group of really strong, talented, and actors and wonderful people. So I always want to celebrate all those people.
You guys built an industry up there with those sci-fi shows.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just had James Bamford on, and he's doing Superman and Lois now. It's like the third or fourth generation of a lot of these sci-fi projects, many of which were launched with Stargate and Battlestar Galactica and Smallville and that ilk. It's a lot to be proud of, and it's we're in an age where we're doing a lot of self-reflection, and a lot of us have a lot of time on our hands and time to watch content like this or listen to it on the road. You don't even have to have it on the screen. You can just listen to it.
And it's a lot of fun. And I've had so many amazing comments from all of the fans all over the world. Like, my most recent shows I asked like the audience, where are you guys tuning in from? And I had over 25 countries.
They're all
and
over the
I
world.
Cannot believe the reach from my living room
ridiculous.
All the way everywhere is just so awesome, and it makes me feel really connected, and I'm so grateful to provide that entertainment for people, and I learn something every time I do it as well. So yeah,
I do as well, and oftentimes learn, don't push that button.
Oh, technically.
Yeah. No, not conversationally.
Yeah.
Although sometimes you can put your foot in your mouth.
Yeah, yesterday I had a really big stream with like a very well-known gaming streamer in the video game world. And I realized within minute 2 that my tech wasn't working. I had all of these photos I was ready to like show.
No.
And I learned very quickly, I was like, oh, that's not working today. But you just can't be precious about stuff. You just have to be like, okay, it's, you know, I'm in the moment. I'm just going to move on.
The live shows are tricky. You know, there's a spontaneity to them, but they lack polish. To a degree. I love this open broadcast software that's available for free. It took a while to get used to, but I mean, I've got like my numeric keypad to run it, and you know, yeah, just left hand. I go back and forth between me, us, and you. So
you're like Minority Report. You're like doing all this things.
Almost, yeah. Where's my little wooden ball to catch?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no, it's we're creative people, and it's so wonderful to be able to have tools like this to be able to provide free content to people who, you know, have loved the work that you guys have produced. So it's terrific.
Yeah. And I mean, most of us aren't going to the movie theater. So
I know. Yeah, exactly. There's so very, very little new content in that regard. So absolutely.
Yeah.
How did you get started in your, I don't, what's, my words escape me. How did you get started in your craft? How far does this go back?
Oh, it goes back to me as a wee little girl.
Little Simone.
Little wee me. I was I was born in Calgary, and I had a grandpa who was a well-known jazz musician in Calgary. Yeah. And so I was introduced to show business just as a viewer quite early on. And he would take me to shows because basically my grandparents, you know, raised me as babysitters while my parents were working. So that was really cool. And then I started in plays at school, in elementary school. I remember I had a crush on this boy in 3rd grade named CJ, right? And he and I got cast opposite each other in this school play. And I played his aunt, but in the play, I had to kiss him. Well, as an aunt to a nephew. But to me, it was like, ooh, I get to kiss CJ right in front of everyone, and I have to do it. So that was really exciting for me. And then, of course, you know, I got into plays in high school. I was really active in high school in dance, athletics, singing. I was in the vocal jazz choir. I played piano. I was also, you know, on the championship teams for softball and volleyball and all these
athletics,
things. Yeah, and musical theater and all these things. And I knew very early on that I wanted to be an actor from the moment I saw the movie Grease with John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. As a young kid, when I saw that movie, it was so much fun and lively, and the singing and dancing numbers were just so exciting. And I would play it over and over again, and I would do all the moves and sing along and all that. I absolutely loved playing dress up. So dress up was a huge gateway for me. I then, out of school, auditioned to get into one of the top acting programs in Canada at the time, where they have over 150 people apply and audition, and they only take 12. And I made it, and I was so excited. And I trained there for my first year, but then I started missing home because that was out in Toronto area. So then I moved back to Vancouver where my parents were, and I did the same thing. I auditioned for the program at UBC, the University of British Columbia, which Stargate fans will be interested is where Michael Shanks and Alex Zahara also trained. They went through the same program as I did, but different years because they're older than me. And I was one of 12 to be accepted into this program. A bunch of people got cut. By the end, I was one of 3 women to graduate my class. I got to study with the Shakespeare guru of Canada. And from university, I flew to Toronto for an audition for a Shakespeare company. My buddy was so convinced that I would get the lead role if I just took the chance and flew for the audition. And I said, that's a big deal for me to fly to Toronto to audition for, all across the country for just an audition that I might not get. He goes, no, I'm telling you, you're so good. You should do this. And I did. And I booked it.
Wow.
So then I got to act with this Shakespeare company and tour with them for 5 months. So we did 2 different Shakespeare shows in rep, which means like you do one night, then you do the other night.
Switch back and forth.
So it's a lot to have like all that Stargate, not Stargate, Shakespeare.
That too.
Dialogue in your head, right? And then in addition to that, I was understudying one of the other lead roles. So, it was really cool. And then, I sang with a band for a while, and I toured and recorded with those guys, singing and playing keyboards. And then, also got into film. And here I am. No turning back.
No, absolutely. Has it been worth it?
So worth it. So much fun.
It's not easy, is it?
It
isn't
a
lot of ebbing and flowing.
Yeah, but that comes with the territory. And I think it's just really nice to have something new and fresh all the time, and also get the opportunity to collaborate and work with so many extraordinary people and also talented individuals from all different walks of life and countries. I just think it's magical. Yeah.
Tell us about getting cast in Stargate SG-1.
It just makes me giddy thinking about it because I just love Stargate so much. I went in for an audition, and at the time I believed it was just a 1-episode part. And I had not actually watched the show much because that was, before the days of streaming. It was before, it was kind of before a lot of internet, YouTube videos. And like it was more challenging to watch shows like that. And plus I was already so active with all these other productions that, sometimes it's just, you don't have the time to really like watch a full, seasons and seasons of a show. But obviously I'd heard of it. I knew it was a huge property, and it was, very exciting to me. I went in for the audition and I booked it. And it was just the coolest thing ever to show up on set and be part of that world.
Birthright, season 7.
Yes.
The Amazonian Jaffa. It was Christopher Judge's script. And they were talking about, wanting to introduce the Amazonian women mythology into Stargate with a Stargate mythological twist to it. And it was a group of female Jaffa warriors who had rebelled against their god and were basically protecting as many of the women from being killed as babies as they could from the gold Malak.
Yes, he was committing femicide. So we were protecting women. Yes.
Tell us about Ka'lel. Who was she, and who did she evolve to become?
It was a really exciting role for me because when I joined as Ka'lel, again, created by Christopher Judge, so that in itself was really exciting. I initially started as part of the tribe lower in the ranks, and our tribe was led by Ishta, played by actress Jolene Blalock. Yeah, and she was from Star Trek rather. Enterprise. Yeah. So it was really wild for me as an actor. I typically try to endow whoever I'm acting opposite in a bit of the role that they have. So I really, as an actor, looked up to her as my leader. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ishta,
Ka'lel would have been a student.
Right. Yeah. So. And so, again, me as the actor, I just thought it was a 1-episode part. And then they invited me back for season 8. And that was fantastic. And then I was back in season 9 as well. So this 1-episode part ended up becoming a recurring role. And that was so exciting for me. In the beginning episodes, I was, leather clad and on this planet. And then, of course, in the later episodes, I joined the Jaffa High Council on Dakara. So that was an added layer and bonus to my character, which made the whole journey of Ka'lel very dynamic, because I went from very low in the ranks to representing my entire planet or my people, which is really exciting.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, what was one of the great things about the show was they would reward the viewer with references to previous episodes through story development, through character development, and through the satellite guest stars. It provided a continuity to show that, or at least, make the attempt to say that these people do continue to exist throughout this reality that we are creating in this show. Mm-hmm. And when you were introduced, it was at, a pivot point in the Jaffa story, where they were going, in season 8, they were really becoming their own nation and finally getting out from the oppression of the Goa'uld. So there was a lot to do, that was as viewers at the time, we were like, okay, where's this going to go next? If we're going to have, a season 9, they set up a nation. And what does that look like? And who are these people? And, what are their values going to be like? They're not necessarily going to be like us, They're a warrior race, and they have honor, and they have their own values, and this is who they are.
Yeah.
It was good stuff.
Really good stuff.
How about working with Chris?
I love working with Chris. He is so awesome. And actually, he is one of the cast members that we still keep in touch. Like, he'll text me out of the blue, and he actually took me for sushi, before the pandemic hit. But he's wonderful to work with. I think he loves when I, as Ka'lel would come on, because I didn't know this, but every time, if you create a character as a writer, you get a little kickback every time that character plays. But he and I also just personally really get along. I think what's so extraordinary about working on Stargate is the insane level of talent and professionalism, but off camera, it is just like pure hilarity, and we're constantly joking. And then, like, when the cameras roll, like, everyone is like, indeed, like, very serious. Indeed. So that was really fun for me.
There has to be levity. I mean,
yes.
Stargate was pretty good about not going too late into the night. They didn't really want to do. They wanted it to be like a Monday, Friday kind of 9 to 5 as best as you could in that industry. Though sometimes there are 18-hour days. There just are. But when the cameras are rolling, be professional and obviously get the work done. But when it's not, you got to have levity.
Well, and also here's something the fans might not know is that, at least when I was working, you would get maybe 1 take, maybe 3 takes to do your stuff on camera, and then they would move on.
Yeah.
And I would always be, because I had come from theater where you just practice and practice and practice. So I was always like, are you sure you got it right? But yeah, that was really fun. And the other kind of interesting thing about me working on Stargate was, a lot of people don't know, I was doing 2 shows, different productions in the same day. So I was acting on Stargate, and then I'd have to rush over. Well, it was actually vice versa, but I would be filming a video game at a whole other studio, and a totally different look for that. And then other times I was doing Stargate, I was working on another TV series, working as a uniformed cop and like doing this really like tough like action role. So it was like really wild. Like, it was such a dynamic time for me where I was, I was like very fortunate at that time. Wow.
I wondered about that, because we had talked with Dan Shea a few weeks ago, who played Siler and was the stunt coordinator on SG-1, about how he was double booked for a day or two and how it caused problems. I didn't know that was a thing where you could actually do that. I thought that when you were booked for a whole day. You could actually be booked for half a day.
Well, the producers have to work that out.
I was going to say.
Yeah, because, they have to be willing to share you and, figure out what their day looks like and what they need from you that day. So definitely, like, the producers were very kind about working it out with each other, thankfully, so that I could do both.
You could do the work.
God forbid I'd have to like say no to a part, that would be unfortunate. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, the industry, like a lot of us who are not in a regular paying field, it ebbs and flows, and you got to catch it when you can. So the people who help you do that, you never forget them.
Yeah.
How were the costumes?
Oh man,
that first one, man, oh man. Right?
Well, firstly, getting cast and you go in for your fitting, and they had, because a lot of my tribe was leather clad, right? So if you look at photos of what I was wearing, I was in leather pants, leather outfit, leather arm guards. I had chain mail here and here. And then I had my, I think it was a Moloch like tattoo on my forehead. And I was just blown away walking into the warehouse, the Stargate, like costume warehouse.
It's a
just
factory.
Seeing the craftsmanship and the detail on every single thing. I mean, this isn't just like, school glue put, it's really high caliber. So, and I big shout out to all of the teams that worked on all of the aspects, like from the props, the weapons, everything on Stargate was really top notch.
It stands to explain why the show lasted 17. The franchise lasted 17 seasons. You've got a machine going there where everyone knows exactly what it is that they're doing. If and they're not afraid to try something new. I mean, even in season 7, by season 7, 8, 9, they're still creating brand new content that is unexpected in so many different ways. And then moving from that leather into council robes, something a little bit more flowing.
Well, not just that, they were very heavy and weighted. And they had this giant cowl, and then the necklace that you wear. And then I still had the leather armbands underneath, and the chainmail, because it's like you still get a hint of Ka'lel, old, former wardrobe into this new.
It was her identity. It's who she was.
Yeah,
and you never know.
Absolutely.
You may need to go into combat.
That's true. You got to be ready at all times.
It's amazing how a costume informs a character, isn't it?
Yes.
Especially with the weight of something simple as council robes, you get the regal kind of authority, like how significant this is. Did you know going in, was it made clear to you through either the script or for just talking with Chris and talking with the producers, how big a deal it was by season 9 that the Jaffa had managed to secure their freedom? That was a big deal.
I think I was just so excited to be back that that was the big deal for me, was just who I get to play with, like act with, and the awesome list of actors that they kept bringing in for additional guest stars, and just the fact that I got to always work with the SGC team. I just felt so blessed the whole time. Like, it was just incredible.
I was always hoping that Christopher's Jaffa story that he wanted to do was going to get off the ground. And, I'm still hopeful at some point that we'll be able to do something like that, because I wouldn't be surprised if there is a place for Ka'lel in that story somewhere.
Of course there is. I'm here for it. I am here for it. I am ready. I got my Zach gun ready. I'm good to go.
And if you're paying close attention in Stargate Universe, listeners, watchers, you may see Simone in the background, depending on how close you're paying attention. You were actually on board Destiny.
Yes, I was. So that was really just an excuse for me to hang out with everybody. And so I popped in once in a while as Lincoln, and it was great. Yeah.
What a set, what a great caliber of people. I was so blown away with that ship. It was something out of H.G. Wells. It was so cool. They had put so much money into that thing. It's just a shame that it got canceled when it did.
Yeah. Well, all the Stargate sets, I mean, just even being in the gate room for SG-1 and seeing the gate really spin and the chevrons really lock and just like everything, it was just so like, whoa, this is so awesome.
And the whole 10 years that thing ran, it never missed an address. That every time, every single, that gear underneath that thing hit its mark every single time until the day it was decommissioned. That is just nuts.
Yep, it's the ultimate Uber. No, I'm just kidding. Never misses its address. No, I'm just kidding.
That's funny. You have had a fair amount of interaction with the Stargate fans. And you and I met at GateCon 2018. Wow, it's been that long.
Oh, that was so much fun.
I know. What is it like meeting the fan community and seeing their passion for these different series, this franchise, and continuing to want to be involved in your life and your creative process and everything else? It's a series that it's evergreen. It doesn't lose its significance.
Yeah, and the conventions Stargate in itself is the gift that keeps on giving. Meeting the fans is such a pleasure, and it lifts me up to meet them and hear their stories, and just the fact that it is a world-renowned show to this day, globally, and that there I could be at that convention with you in Vancouver, Canada, and people had flown in from Europe. I mean, that is just all over the world. And just really getting a chance to connect with people and hear that, oh yeah, they watch Stargate, their kids watch Stargate, their parents watch, so it's a whole generational. Yeah. And, some people had talked about how the show really saved them and brought levity into their life when they personally felt a lot of darkness. And just, being able to watch that show, how helpful it was for them and how much it meant. And even when people are excited to meet me, I'm just always so surprised, but it's such a joy. And yeah, the fact that they still connect with me, and I've made some lifelong friends, including you. So
absolutely.
I'm really grateful.
Didn't you, wasn't there like a painting or a portrait that you had done? I
have done a series of Stargate inspired paintings, one of which is really fun and I love it. It's somewhere out there in the world. I am a huge fan of the episode from Stargate SG-1, Window of Opportunity.
Yes.
And so
this little obscure show that no one ever talks about.
So I just loved that ketchup and mustard on the plate. So I did, as a joke, which, was kind of paying homage, right? I did a painting of that happy face that was initially in ketchup and mustard. Of course, I used paint, not ketchup and mustard. And yeah, so I sold a few paintings, and every
on
time
plates?
someone... No, not on plates.
No, okay.
on canvas. On canvas.
Okay.
And I'm actually gearing up to do a series of Stargate paintings and making those available. So yeah.
Well,
so
keep us in the loop on that. I absolutely want to publicize that.
Well, because I know you also celebrate, Stargate inspired art. So that's cool.
Very much so. Yeah, Gary Jones has come on and shown some of his work. So I'd love to have you back and show some of this off when you have it ready to go. I'd like to do some kind of like a gallery of it, especially if it's available to fans, because I know some of them would be interested.
Yeah, and the other thing too is when the fans purchase art from me, it is one of a kind, and so I will always inscribe a personal inscription to them or whoever they're gifting it to on the back. So it kind of makes it like even more special, because you're almost getting an autograph and a special note in addition to the art. So.
Yeah, this is for you.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So, very cool. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've got some fan questions for you.
Okay.
So, William Aarons. Do you know why your character was given a name so similar to a Kryptonian? Or if that's just a coincidence?
I don't know, but you know what? That's a great question. And I was also amazed that they could clear that name.
Right.
Because typically every single character name or place or everything needs to be cleared legality, like for legality. And the fact that Ka'lel is the name of Superman is crazy.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
But you know what? I feel like a superwoman, like a Wonder Woman. So, I'm all good with it. Yeah, but I don't know why. Chris never explained that to me. And I don't know if that was something that was subconscious with him, because like surely he must have known.
I suspect he had some kind of, I wouldn't be surprised if there is like a deliberate like nod to Superman there.
Yeah, so I'll have to ask him next time we talk.
Absolutely. I mean, it would certainly make sense with Amazonian Jaffa, so they are super strength. Absolutely. Yeah. Teresa, do you have an innate love of sci-fi, or was this something that you fell in love with when you started doing the work?
I had an innate love primarily with movies first. So I'm a huge fan of the original trilogy of Star Wars, obviously like Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, love. Love Children of Men and District 9 and, all
another
these,
one.
And
they finally announced
a new District 9.
Uh-huh. District 10.
That's going to be exciting.
I know. I can't wait.
Yeah. And Planet of the Apes movies, like amazing. I think my gateway to sci-fi television was actually Battlestar Galactica.
The new one or the old one?
The newer one.
I love Ron
which I ended
Galactica.
Up being in the show finale.
Yeah.
The 2-part show finale. So that was just extraordinary for me because I was such a fan of the show. And then to be on the show, I was like,
it's great sci-fi.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then, right now I'm watching WandaVision, which is so much fun. I love
haven't seen it yet. I heard a few people said, it really takes a few episodes to get going.
Not for me.
Not for you?
It is so much fun and it is such an unexpected surprise. I really recommend everybody give it a shot. I love The Mandalorian.
Yes.
And Stranger Things and Dark Matter. So yeah, I do love sci-fi.
Awesome. There's so much of what's good on TV, quote unquote, right now, streaming is coming out of sci-fi, and it's just it's almost impossible to keep up with, even in pandemic circumstances.
Yeah, I know. We need to clone ourselves just so we can watch everything.
Absolutely. Gap Stargate said, "I just want to have someone mention about what Simone means to her fans. She's a great person." So hey, there you go.
Single tear. Thank you.
Cam
really
Wells,
appreciate it.
The spelling of your name is French. Do you speak French?
I was taught French in school because in Canada, French is our second language.
Yes.
I do not consider myself fully fluent, although when traveling in Vietnam one year, I shocked myself that I actually could hold a conversation in French with a man there. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, who's this person?
Back.
But yeah, it came back. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
Any projects that we should be on the lookout in addition to your show and your Stargate art? Anything in
it's
the popper?
Interesting. Well, because I did have a feature film documentary that I was going to star in right before the pandemic. I was supposed to fly to China. My mother is Chinese, and a documentarian wanted to fly my parents and I back to her village and kind of like see me go back to where her roots are from.
Have you been to where she's from?
I have not.
You have not. Okay.
No, my mom and dad and her brother went on a voyage to go see what it's like, and it was quite a wild story. So she moved from there very young, and so their house was left completely intact, and they just locked the door and closed it. And when she went back from being a little girl to now, she's in her mid 70s, the place was still the exact same. And the neighbor oddly recognized her, through her face. I was like, oh, I still have the key. And she they went and they did a whole tea ceremony and blessed the place. And so I guess we have, this property, I guess, they have a property in China.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So that's kind of a cool story.
And so any chance that could still happen?
It's tricky because the politics.
This is true.
Anyway, not getting too much into that, but there's a lot of kind of complicated things. So I'm not sure that that's going to happen, but that was supposed to happen. And then, of course, I had conventions lined up that I was supposed to go to. I was supposed to go to the UK for not just another Sci-Fi con and also GateCon. So yeah, I mean, I think when it's clear, I will be doing more conventions live. And, I've been auditioning for some pretty big projects. And so, that's always, we'll see how everything pans out with that. But yeah, as for my show, I've got a show coming on next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you see me on social media, I will hype all that.
Absolutely. We'll help promote it as well. That's terrific.
Yeah.
I think that we need to have an episode at some point with you, me, and Sue-Ann Braun. Get all the hosts together and field questions and maybe do some kind of an episode rewatch or something of that sort.
Well, what was funny is she was the very first guest that I approached. And I said, Sue-Ann, I'd like to invite you to be my first guest. And she said, oh, darling, I can't. I'm doing my own show. And I've got people booked all the way into the fall. And I was like, oh, wow. Like you are so much further ahead of me. Like she had just lined up all of her guests and I, so, but yes, I do.
Absolutely.
Think she's doing some great stuff. I mean, you too. I mean,
Thank
it's really
you.
been a joy to watch all of us grow our channels.
It's and securing guests, man, it's like herding cats. Everyone has the best of intentions, but securing everybody and making schedules work and everything else is not the easiest thing in the world. This is the hardest part about this, in my opinion.
Yeah, one of my shows, it took 2.5 months to secure the group panel that I was trying to coordinate because everyone is so busy.
Yeah, exactly.
Their schedules.
With what they're dealing with, they're managing to make it work. So it's nice to see so many of these talent working again through this whole situation, despite it that like Canada's they've figured it out. And so like people like Amanda Tapping, it's catch as catch can with Amanda. We've been trying to get her since September, and she just keeps on going and going, and we're like, good for you. This is great.
Well, she, I think it's so fantastic that she's become the director that she has as well, because I remember back in the day, she wanted to direct Stargate. Mm-hmm. And I think that was a really challenging thing for her at first, where, there was a bit of reluctance, handing the keys to the car over to somebody. And I am just so impressed and inspired by her constantly. I mean, she's just an amazing actress. She's as is. Yeah, but just to see what she's done. And I too have been dipping my toes into getting into directing. And I would love to see that happen for me as well. So
absolutely.
She's inspiring.
She is indeed. Yeah. So anything else that we can bring to light or get fans to look forward to before we let you go? So you've got your next show coming this coming Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I will keep you updated as to how my avocado tree is growing.
Yes, please. I want to see some pictures. Send me some pictures.
Yeah. And I've also been cooking a lot and really pushing the corners on what I can cook. Like in the last couple weeks, I've been really killing it in the homemade ramen game because I don't always get to go to all the restaurants that I want to go to eat. So I thought, okay, well, metaphorically, like teach myself how to fish, like learn how to cook those things that I wish I could get from a restaurant. And also, just, I don't know, it's fun. I always love learning things. So
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I appreciate you coming on. It's been a pleasure to have you. We've got to do something where we get a bunch of you back. I want to do another and I have been talking with the guys over at Wyvern about it, of doing another Stargate role-playing session. That other one was just so much fun.
That was such a blast.
That was a blast.
I loved that. Yeah, it was so great.
Absolutely.
I would definitely be down for that.
Well, I'll put you down then. I'll let you know as soon as we get a date in mind. We're going to put it around toward when the product comes out. So hopefully not too very long from now.
And I hope those guys can send me some of those sweet Stargate dice.
Yes, exactly. They're so cool.
Yeah.
We will make that happen. Absolutely. So it's been a pleasure to have you. And it's so good to see you again.
You too. It's always a pleasure to speak with you, and my love to all of the fans. Thank you so much for all of your support now and through the years. I'm just really grateful for everyone.
Absolutely. And be sure to check the link below a few minutes after recording this for the Simone Bailey Show, or just type Simone Bailey into YouTube and you'll get there as well. Simone, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and we'll be in touch very soon, okay?
Yes. Everyone take care. You too.
Bye-bye now.
All right. Bye.
Simone Bailey Ka'lel in Stargate SG-1. Great human being. I think the world of her. Bumped into her at GateCon 2018 and became fast friends. So, all right. I do have some artwork, and this is from Elser, I believe the name is correct. This is a portrait of Simone. Best known for her role as the Jaffa warrior Ka'lel in the series #Stargate SG-1, but also for the role of Grace in the TV series The L Word and Shona in Battlestar Galactica. The Deviant Art website is such a well of absolutely beautiful art of all different mediums, all different styles, and this was really cool when I came across this. So I absolutely had to share it. Today is your last day to own a piece of the Pegasus Dial Home device. For the month of February, Dial the Gate is partnering with Empire Movie Props to give away this piece of the DHD from the Atlantis episode Phantoms. To enter to win, you need to use a desktop or a laptop computer and visit dialthegate.com. Scroll down to Submit Trivia Questions. Your trivia may be used in a future episode of Dial the Gate, either for our monthly trivia night or for a special guest to ask me in a round of trivia. Please note the submission form does not currently work for mobile devices. Please get your trivia in before Eastern Time, midnight, March the 1st. If you're the lucky winner, I'll be notifying you via your email to get your address. And big thanks to Empire Movie Props for making this item available to our audience. Dial the Gate is brought to you every week for free, and we do appreciate you watching. But if you want to support the show further, buy yourself some of our themed swag. We're now offering t-shirts, tank tops, sweatshirts, and hoodies for all ages and a variety of sizes and colors at Redbubble. We currently offer 4 themed designs and hope to add more in the future. The word cloud designs have both a solid background or a transparent background option, so you have some flexibility when choosing a light or dark color. So do keep that in mind when you're making your selection. Checkout is fast and it's easy, and you can even use your Amazon or PayPal account. Just visit dialthegate.redbubble.com, and thank you for your support. I do have Burned Backhouse wanted to know, can we please do a crossover with Sue-Ann? Yes. So Sue-Ann and I were talking about that as well. I'd love to do something with all of the YouTube hosts at some point too. Thanks so much to Summer, Tracy, Keith, Jeremy, Reese, Linda, Gategabber, Fury, and Jennifer Kirby. You guys are making the show happen, and I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Next weekend, before I let you guys go, we do have Saul Rubinek joining us on March the 7th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. He's going to be taking us back to Stargate SG-1's Heroes with Emmett Bregman. And then at 1 p.m., 2 hours later, Vaitiari Hirschan, Shea, and Aminette from Stargate SG-1 as well. She's going to be joining us. Those are March the 7th, which is going to be next Sunday here on Dial the Gate. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. I really do appreciate your time, and I'm glad that you're enjoying the show. Please give us a thumbs up if you are indeed liking the show. Consider subscribing and letting your fellow Stargate fans know about it. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name is David Reed for Dial the Gate. See you on the other side.